Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's installment of ClueCon Weekly, sponsored by SignalWire. This week with us, we have Nadin Zajimovic, who is a senior software engineer at Infobip, which is a company based in Croatia, I think, and is going to help us understand how they operate, what they offer, and how such a large-scale company can work. Thank you for joining us, Nadin.
Hi, well, thank you for calling me here in. Yes, I'm a software engineer at Infobip, and Infobip is based in Croatia. I'm based here in Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's a neighboring country for Croatia, and here we do most of our RTC services. We develop it here.
Oh, nice. So RTC is my favorite part. Okay, so what do you work on in particular? Like, what's your favorite thing these days that's happening at Infobip?
Okay, well, I'm here at Infobip for 7 years, and all of that time I have been working on the RTC stuff. I started working on I was actually here when the Infobip first started doing RTC stuff, and first of our services that we were developing were some kind of SIP services, SIP trunking, text-to-speech API, and selling the ID numbers and stuff like that, and that's where I started my career. So after that, after a few years of that, I switched back when we started developing WebRTC platform. So following few years, I was developing that WebRTC platform and SDKs that we offer alongside that. But in the last, I would say 1 or 2 years, I am here developing our contact center, particularly call center solution. So I'm mainly focused on this RTC part of our contact center. So that's my current stuff that I'm working on, and maybe my favorite currently.
Well, you've done a lot. So you've gone from simply offering, well, simply, it's never simple, but you've gone from offering services to an actual complete platform, which is it's quite interesting. I was checking out the website for Infobip, and I see you have a lot about customer engagement and in general, multiple communication channels. So it's not just trunking, it's not just WebRTC, which I want to ask you some question about, but you're doing a lot of like with the moments API, the conversations. Can you let us know a bit about that? Because it sounds like it's a bit different than usual CPaaS kind of stuff.
Well, yes, we are trying to provide some unified experience for all the channels that we are offering to our customers. So we do have like CPaaS platforms, and we do have like some developer clients that are using us, but we also have this software as a service stack inside of our portal that we are offering, and this call center is part of that, and all that you mentioned is also part of that, our SaaS solution that we are offering, and we are trying to make it very simple for users of our portal to receive and send messages, to communicate with their customers, and we are trying to make them focus on the business that they do, and we are just going to solve all the communication problems for them. So when you log to our portal, you have all communication channels in one place. So if we are talking about this conversations product, it is one of the products that you maybe mentioned, and it's really just a name for our contact center. Inside of one UI, you can talk through all the channels, and when you receive a message from one channel or another channel, it's all in the same UI. So it's like a unified experience that agents don't need to use many other platform services. So we try to make it simple for our users to reach their customers.
Nice. So I think I've heard a lot about unified communications and that kind of thing in the last few years, probably, because people seem to be really getting into it. I think we're missing technology for that for a while. It's only the last few years we've been really able to implement that. So can you give us a few examples of how companies are using your unified communication platform?
Well, for now, main use cases that are using ours is for customer care, where we have agents that want to talk to their customers, and the customers prefer, some customers prefer, I don't know, Viber messaging, some customers prefer live calls, video calls, or just audio calls. Some customers prefer like sending just an SMS by reporting problems, and customer care agents that are working on that, they can receive all that messages inside of a single UI. We are connected to our providers in many different ways. We have like all modern messengers connected, Viber, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and also we have these RTC channels there. So that's, I think, the main use case that we are selling, the customer care for agents that can talk to their customers on every channel that customer prefers. And it's we try to keep it like personalized experience. And the selling point is that different customers want to talk on different channels, and we will respect that by offering our agents any kind of channel they want to talk to.
That's very nice. Okay, so let's go into the engineering of it, since we're all technical here. What do you? So you said you've done a lot of on WebRTC. If you can say, what are you running your FreeSwitch internally on? Is that a stack you developed internally? Something open source? Is it not open source?
We are using FreeSwitch. In this part of the services I am developing for the call center, we are using FreeSwitch. It's like we have a lot of micro platforms here. Like we have a platform for delivering PSTN phone number calls. That's something that we developed first. Then we developed a platform for WebRTC calls, and that's something like completely different from our call center solutions. It's for clients that want our SDK inside of their applications, and that WebRTC platform is just for that. So the state is we had this like micro platforms developed at Infobip, and we just in this part of the product I'm working on, we use the FreeSwitch to bridge those platforms. So we can receive a call from any platform that we have. We can receive it from some IVRs. We can receive it from the PSTN platform. We can receive it from WebRTC applications, and that's one side of the call. And we can deliver that call to the agents that are either on the web applications, or in some use cases, agents also have like their cell phones as a backup or something, and we will deliver the call to their phones. And we are using FreeSwitch there to bridge those platforms and to have some custom call center routing logic that is tied to that FreeSwitch. So that's in the platform that I'm working on. And this micro platform I was talking about, they use also some open source services. So here at Infobip, we mainly use open source services.
Okay, so that's interesting. So your video platform is based on FreeSwitch.
Well, actually, I have lost you for a second.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
So your video platform is based on FreeSwitch, so it's an MCU. Or do you do video at all?
Our main video platform, the one that is not tied to our call center, is actually based on the Janus. And we are, that's like this one micro platform that is like in front of our customers. Customers connect to that platform. It's something that is publicly exposed, and it's Janus. And yes, we do have video, and that's one part. So on the one end, there are customers that are connected to the WebRTC platform, and it's Janus. And on the other part, if we are talking about delivering calls on the phone numbers, we have like PSTN platform that is some custom session border controller that is connected to various gateways that we have connected throughout the world. And when those platforms can operate on their own, and if we want to bridge them in some kind of call center call that we will use, okay, someone called us from the WebRTC platform, we will connect that to the FreeSwitch that is inside of the call center, and then we will do some routing logic, okay, to where we want to deliver our call, and we will just proceed it to some other platform.
Cool. So that's very interesting. So you're running a lot of microservices, which leads us into the obligatory question: what are you running your platform on? If you can say, is it Docker, Kubernetes, nothing of the sort?
Most of our services are Dockerized. Most of our RTC services that are handling media are also Dockerized, but we also have like services that are deployed on the virtual machines without Docker. And we do have our own data centers on premises throughout the world. I think maybe we have like 30 of them, but we also do deploy some of RTC platforms in the cloud. There are many reasons for that. Most of them is bandwidth limitation, because in our own data centers, we have a limited amount of bandwidth available, and most of it's used for the services that were there before RTC. because we started with this RTC story much later after we started working on some other channels like SMS or something like that. And everything before RTC was mainly deployed on on-premise data centers, and we hit our limits regarding bandwidth. So we don't want to add RTC there and just break our network in our own data centers. So we are using cloud deployments lately for our RTC services.
Oh yeah, see, I totally agree. I mean, SignalWire runs entirely on the cloud, and that's thanks to our CTO Evan McKee, who has a long experience with building an MVNO, and I work on that project too. So we're running everything in the cloud, but a few things sometimes take more work than not cloudifying them fully. Do you use any particular cloud provider? Again, if you can say.
We use AWS and Microsoft. Somewhere we use AWS, somewhere Microsoft. Sometimes it's also a matter of locations because in some countries where they operate, we have legal regulations that media must remain in that country. And when we are talking about recording calls, because that's one of the features that we offer to our clients, when you record a call, if you record it in some country, that recording must stay in that country. And for the recording, for the storage, we are also using the cloud providers. And if we don't have one cloud provider on the location we want, we must use another one. So yeah, we are using multiple cloud providers. Which one suits us the best?
Yeah, it is. It's important. We actually run cross providers, so everything is deployed to multiple providers just in case. I think we're past. A few years ago, you probably were around when Amazon stopped working for a couple days, and Heroku was down. Everybody was down. I think that won't happen anymore. But having multiple providers is important in this space for multiple reasons. There's
Yeah,
so much.
I think after that, all the companies told their employees, okay, we must have like redundant providers.
Definitely, yeah. So, since we are in the technical discussion, what programming languages do you use? Frameworks, the kind of stuff. What's your favorite? I'll start by saying I'm a Rubyist and I'm a Rails expert and enthusiast.
Okay, well, I will have to disappoint you. I don't know if anyone is building anything on Ruby in Infobip, but we are trying to be agnostic of the languages in the terms that every team can choose to develop in any language they want. So we are trying to implement that, even though we have the most infrastructure for the Java and JDK-alike services. So I would say most of our services are written in Java. Because we have like many internal libraries that solve many problems, and they are all written for Java. Even our remoting for remote procedural calls, we have infrastructure for that works only in Java. But we do have services that we have that are specialized and need some other technologies. We have some stuff deployed on Node.js, so it's up to every team to decide what fits best.
For sure, yeah. That's a great way to put it. Like every team can pick their own language. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm a Rubyist, but I can say I've done much Java, and actually, it's the first time I hear Java being used so extensively in the RTC space, which is strange. I probably haven't spoken to the right people because I assume it's everywhere, and I can see how having a library simply really helps a lot. So, if people were to wanting to, I don't know, try your services, get started, how would you recommend someone get started?
Well, I would recommend open our homepage and just check the documentation. I think we have nice documentation there, but like creating account is, I think, enough for most of our services. And we on the documentation, we have a list of services that we offer, and there is like a demo for each one of them, so you can see how it works. And after you get an account, you can just log to our portal and try it. That's the story for this software as a service stack. We also have like APIs if you want just and SDKs. Well, for these RTC stories, we have SDKs. We have voice and video SDK. It's called Infobip RTC. So we have that documented on GitHub. And if you're a developer that want to integrate some calls inside of your application, I would recommend starting from there. And there is a quick tutorial how you can include our SDK inside of your application, and how you can, I don't know, if in under an hour get like video calls inside of your application. And that's one of the services that we provide, SDKs for RTC communication, and we try to keep them as small as possible, and we try to keep them as simple as possible, so the developers that are developing their applications, so they don't need to worry about RTC stuff. They can worry about the business logic of their applications, and just like include some library, call a few methods, and they have calls. So that GitHub documentation that we have, I would say, is the first star for RTC people that are developing applications.
Yeah, I'm looking at the use case library that you have. There's a lot of very interesting stuff going on, like three-factor auth, which is actually quite cool. So you have a three-factor auth library that allows you to do the biometrics in the platform?
Yes, we have that. I wasn't one of the guys that were implementing it, so I cannot tell you many about it, but I know that we have. We also have biometry on our software as a service solutions inside of our portal, where if you are using that full solution of ours, we have like people profiles in there, and we try to have like that people database for every client up to date, and as much as data to connect with the people. And one of the things is that we can assign some biometric data to the people, and when you are on the call, you as an agent are on the call with someone, and you need to make sure 100% that you're talking to the person that is written in front of you in the data. You can just click the button, and we do like video or audio biometric authentication.
Yeah, there's so much in here. I'm going down the list of the examples. There's pages of it. Like the so you do some Internet of Things functionality to IoT?
Well, yes. So we also have that. So Infobip is really we have many directions that we want to go. So in many directions we saw potential, and in the past, I don't know, through all 3 years, we doubled like number of engineers that we have. So we want to go everywhere. So one of the things that we do is also an IoT.
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot in here. So what you said you're working on the customer service features right now. So what are you working on right now? This is just an engineering question. Like I always ask people who are technical, what's your current project? Because it's interesting.
Yeah, it's actually a quite good time to ask me, because I'm working currently on something very interesting. We are developing two parallel features that are connected, transcriptions and voice bots. So this transcriptions feature is actually enabling, while you are talking to the customer, we will translate your speech to the text, not only agents, but customers also. And we can do some analysis over that text. We can do sentiment analysis and like suggest agent what he should say to the client that is calling. Also, we are doing some aftermath analysis. After the call, we will analyze some text, and our customers can say, okay, give me a list of all conversations that agents talked about, I don't know, something, some tags, if it's banking, about low balance, let's say, and there is a tag low balance, and you can search transcriptions and find the ones that have low balance inside of it. So that's one of the features of these transcriptions. And on top of that, we are also working on these voice bots, because we already have implemented textual bots. That's a product that we call Answers. You may have seen it on our page. It enables you to like define the behavior of the bot. It's not just some frequently asked questions list or something. There can be much complicated scenarios there. And we currently have them on textual channels. And let's say if you write a WhatsApp message to a certain number, it is connected to some bot. It can be our, or we also have integration with external bot providers. And you will get WhatsApp message from the bot. And we are implementing that kind of behavior on our RTC services. So one of the use cases is this on the call center, where we want to reduce the time that agents spend on the calls. So we will try to have bot resolve as many issues as possible. So when you call some support number, you will actually talk to a real bot, and he will try to resolve your issue. And of course, there is always an option if you cannot resolve issue with a bot, it will connect you just to some available agent. And that's something I'm currently working on, and it's quite interesting.
That's awesome. I mean, it's yeah, that's I think transcription and related stuff are going to be more and more interesting for the market as things go forward, simply because agents are more expensive and good agents are even more expensive. Like that's the main problem. That's the That is totally a problem. We've had many customers who have reduced a lot of the call center utilization by doing bots, etc. But of course, this is the next level, like the actual AI powering an agent. And so, Ophir, I see you have a long list of customers, etc. What's your main customer profile like? Which type of customer do you have the most? Call center companies or something else?
Well, it really depends because Infobip is present in many areas. This CPaaS stack, we have like customers of one profile there, and if we are talking about this SaaS stack that we have on our portal, we have like a whole different customers there, and it's really a question about which product. If you ask me that question, it must be tied to some product. For this one that I'm working on, well, those are the companies like banks or something like that needs to have really good customer care. So that's our main profile of clients for this part. And I don't know, for delivering SMS messages, I don't know, I would say like a big software platforms that need to have some login and one-time PIN delivery. Those are our favorite clients there.
That's awesome. Cool. So, if I can ask, what's your speech recognition engine? Are you using something commercial? Don't tell me the name because you probably can't. But are you using something commercial, or is it developed in house? Is it open source?
Well, for everything that has multiple providers, we always try to have like some mini platform in front of it that we can like distribute the load. And we do that with speech recognition, and we do use all of the famous ones depending on the language, but we also have one division inside of our company that is doing some in-house development, and soon enough we will try to make that default, at least for some languages. But we have like some proxy that based on the account level, on the price, on everything else, on the language availability, we choose different providers.
Yeah, I think the open source world has fallen behind a lot on speech recognition. Like there's nothing that's really, I wouldn't say even good. Like whatever I tried, it almost doesn't work. It saddens me to say that, but it's not like there's much. Like I don't know. I don't know if you agree. If you experimented with some of the famous ones, like the Julius, there's Mozilla Deep Speech. I've been trying them. There's a lot going on in the Python area when you're doing chatbots. So Raza and LU. There's a couple good libraries for chatbots, but speech to text, there's nothing.
Yeah, and it's you try those open source, you see the results, and you try those that are paid, and you see how much they are better, and it's just easier to use them for now. But we have one of division here that is trying to do something in-house, so we are hoping that we will get fair enough results that would probably not be better than the ones paid that we are using, but when you compare the price, here is zero. So probably for some use cases where we don't have need to have so much quality in the speech recognition, we will use this in-house, but we will see. Maybe we will have good results in the future.
Yeah, I'm thinking that in general, speech recognition is one of those things where it's actually expensive just to maintain, not just to make it. And that's probably the problem. And that's why honestly one of the more expensive cloud-based services. Like if you compare the price per minute of speech recognition to I don't know data, bandwidth, or storage or whatever, they're all storage is practically free these days. Like it's 0.005 per gigabyte. Well, speech recognition is still quite expensive, to be honest.
Yeah, because not so many people can do it right. And there are many disks in the world, that's why it's cheap. But for this speech recognition, I mean, it's hard to develop it. That's why they are taking so much money from us. But I mean, yeah, I can understand why it's that.
Yeah. I do want to go try. There's a new project that's called Vosk, VOSK, and I really want to go try that because it's very new, and I don't know if I will have time soon. I need to. I've been doing a lot of things with the evangelism stuff, but I really want to try that. So maybe take a look. It's probably interesting, but yeah.
Yeah, actually, we did try something. We did try Vosk on this platform
Oh, did you?
that I'm currently, yeah, and it had fair results. It was probably okay quality for us, but we decided to go with this mini platform that we have for speech recognition because soon enough it will include our in-house solution. So that's why we decided to go with this platform. But we tried Vosk. It was okay.
Oh, okay. So
We,
probably worth trying. Yeah, I never. I'll be honest. I never managed to get Mozilla Deep Speech actually working. That has to be my fault, but I didn't get it to run. That's probably yeah.
yeah,
So
well,
they're
yeah,
hard
but
to compile. They're hard to. The other thing there's that the open source world needs to do, in my opinion, is they need to be better at documenting, like our companies are, because we have to get people to pay us money, so we work on it. But people don't realize that not having a tutorial, not having a getting started kind of thing is really handicapping projects.
well, yes, I mean, that here in the Sarajevo, where when I was starting, we don't have so many companies that are doing RTC. So Infobip is by far the biggest one. And when I was starting, there was no many engineers in this field. So I actually had to start to learn everything by myself. So for guys like me that are starting to learn everything by themselves, it's important to have stuff that you're talking about, some guides for open source services, and it's important to have a community that can help you. So, I mean, we are using mostly the open source services, and for the most of them, community is great. We can find everything we want. But yes, I think for the projects that are not like the biggest one in the world, I think that stuff is missing. Yeah.
Yeah, like for example, going back to speech recognition, it would be hard to have a tutorial that goes, from installation to recognizing a sound file, but you can't find those. It's so weird. So yeah, it's. Are you involved in any open source projects by chance? No matter if you aren't, but I am not right now.
Well, not currently. I mean, we have some contributions on the Janus because we are using it extensively for our calls. So sometimes we find some issues and we fix them, but that's about that.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So I'll say hello to Lorenzo when I meet him. We are. I mean, I'm in
Yeah,
Italy.
we
We have worked
actually,
together.
yes, we also actually met him on the JanusCon, the first and only that was held on site. He is a great guy, so he also knows that you are using his service.
Yeah, we. I just said hello to him via chat. Yeah, that JanusCon was great. I surely hope we can get back to getting to conferences soon. It's I've been missing that. Like when I don't know if it's like that for you. When we were able to travel, I was traveling maybe too much. Now that I'm not traveling anymore, I miss it.
Well, yes, I mean that's like high level missing stuff. For the past year, we all work from house, work from home in Infobip. So the low level part of missing for me is missing my colleagues, because with this situation, I mean here in Bosnia, it's pretty harsh with the COVID. So for a whole year we are working from home, and it's been hard. And I miss the colleagues part. But then, if we ever get back to the office, then I will miss these conferences and traveling.
Oh yeah, but well, SignalWire was born as a remote company. We almost don't have an office. There's our main office in San Francisco, but everybody's distributed. So I feel it less than others, but it's certainly not for everybody. In fact, yeah, let's close on this. Did the having to move to remote affect the way you work at the company much, or do you feel like you managed to adapt pretty quickly?
I think we managed to adapt, but not pretty quickly. It slowed us down very much. I mean, at the same time when this COVID situation happened, we were in transitioning to the new system, new way of work, to the less large-scale Scrum. So that happened in the same time when COVID, and it really changed a lot of things for us, and it was hard to adapt. But now, when we are 1.5 years maybe doing this, I think it's okay. We can live with this. We can develop all products that we developed before, and I mean, it's harder for us because we already worked a few years together, and when you work like that and after that you get split, it's harder. But for SignalWire, I guess from the beginning you were a remote company, so it's easier for you guys.
Yeah, I've been remote since 2009, I think. I don't even remember. So it's never been a problem for me. But yeah, other people, I can tell you that we've had people try and start and then say, look, guys, this is not working because I'm not used to remote working. That was even before COVID. Like, it's not for everybody, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, some companies here in Sarajevo are offering that as a feature. We work in the office, we don't do remote.
Oh, yeah, it's flipped. It used to be that you were saying that you could work from home. That would be a perk. Now the perk is we actually have an office and you can come work here.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well, the world has changed. So I still hope we go back to our old conferences and whatnot because I miss those. I
Yeah, please.
miss FOSDEM. Have you ever been to FOSDEM, the Belgium open source conference?
Well, not live, but I watched some videos, but I have never been live.
Next time it's live, go across them. It's great. I mean, it's not particularly about our community. There's an RTC room usually run by some people from the community, but it's really just about 10,000 people in the same place. You see people with laptops everywhere in Brussels for 2 days, just sitting in groups and typing away, and it's super fun. Yeah. So everybody that's from Europe.
I think definitely in this situation we will appreciate that, and we all would want to travel more and visit more conferences.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. So, thank you for joining us today, Nadin. This was a super great discussion, and Infobip has a lot of interesting services. And I like the fact that you've described your architecture, you're doing all this microservice stuff. Sounds like it's a very, very interesting project in general. And again, Nadin Zajimovic from Infobip joined us today to let us know what they're doing, where they come from, and where they're going. Thank you so much, Nadin.
Thank you, Luca, and all the guys at SignalWire.
And for the listeners, thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Stop the recording.